Alright, good afternoon, everybody. So, there has been some issues, of course, we know going on now in throughout the world about what's going on with things going on in the Holy Land, and then the conflicts between the so-called Israelis and the so-called Palestinians. They're really both fake identities, but that's neither here nor there. But in America and in other countries, I understand in England and France and all over the world, visibly Jewish people, are being attacked because Canada, other places of Canada, North America, I understand, because of what's going on between the Israelis and the Palestinians. I heard that they were trying to attack Jewish homes in Bois Bran, which is the Tosher community, an anti-Zionist Hasidic community, and there were explosive attacks in the Diamond District. Also, most of the Jews working in the Diamond District are either non-Zionist or anti-Zionist. So there's really no reason for them to be attacked, unless the fact of the matter is that this is not about Zionism, but rather really just anti-Semitism. Now, you have certain groups, the Neturei Karta, which anybody can call themselves Neturei Karta. There's no copyright on the name Neturei Karta. But some of these guys, they go and they protest against the Israelis together with the Palestinians. And the truth of the matter is, of course, everybody knows that the Holy Satmar Rebbe was against Zionism, and he would never do such a thing. So what exactly is this about? You know, and sometimes Satmar Rav used to say, the guy's mich Osler and Kanuas, you're going to teach me how to be a zealot? Meaning he's the king of the zealots, you're going to teach me how to be a zealot? You're going to be more zealous than me? And the same thing, one of the current Satmar Rebbes over here in Monroe, in Palm Tree, just passed by on my trip today. The current Rebbe, he says, Mahatuch denier Kanoim. We have people who, the Frische Kanoim, people who just discovered anti-Zionism, and they think that they're smarter than everybody else, and there's a way to do things. Now, the truth of the matter is, though, I side certainly with the Satmar in this issue, vis-a-vis going and protesting together with the Palestinians. It's a problematic thing to do, but on the other hand, is it worthwhile perhaps to teach these people that we don't have anything to do with Israel? Meaning, I don't think we have to condemn Israel. This is my personal view right now. I don't feel that we have to condemn Israel because of what's going on currently. In general, Israel versus Palestine, the so-called Palestinians and the so-called Israelis, they're both wrong, but I would see in general Israel is the lesser of two evils. In this particular conflict, there's really nothing else to do, and Israel is not merely a lesser of two evils. It's doing what they have to do. I mean, war is a horrible thing, but I don't see them as they are defending themselves. People say, well, the Palestinians have the right to defend themselves also. The Palestinians aren't defending themselves. They are on the offense here. They see an opportunity, and they were given that opportunity because of Joe Biden. He gave them money, meaning President Trump said, I'm happy to give aid to the Palestinians as long as you can promise me that this is not going to be used for terrorism. They couldn't promise that, and so President Trump didn't give them the aid. And Mr. Biden here, he doesn't care. Go ahead. Terrorism, not terrorism, here's your money. And that's what's going on here. So people are like, oh, but should we give Israel the money to attack the Palestinians? Israel's not attacking the Palestinians. Israel is defending themselves. They're going above and beyond the normal conventions of war to be ethical and moral, to prevent the accidental killing of civilians. But the Palestinians are putting their weapons of terrorism right in the middle of civilian places, meaning they don't have respect for their schools and hospitals and mosques and so forth. They want, it's a death cult, really, the Hamas. There was a telephone call where the Israelis were calling a building saying, we're going to bomb this building because you're attacking us from it, and we don't want to attack it at all. We don't want to bomb it, but you give us no choice. But please get all the people out of there. So we don't want to kill anybody, and certainly get all the children out of there. And the Palestinian answers back, and you can find this video online. No, let the children die. This way we can show how evil you are, that you're killing children. Well, but that's not how it works, meaning you're shooting missiles out of this area where you have children there as human shields. So, we got to... I got to get gas. We got to defend ourselves, but, you're putting innocent children there. Hope I don't run out of gas. I know where I want to get get the gas. It's one more exit, I think. One or two exits. So get them out of there, and then the Palestinians are like, no, kill the children. This way we can show how bad you are. Well, what do and they're open about it. They're not, they're not even, So to go to a protest and say, we condemn Israeli brutality, that's not a place that any Jew belongs. Certainly anybody who believes in truth and honesty, you can say, from a religious standpoint, we don't believe there should be a state of Israel. We don't believe there should be a Jewish state. These people have nothing to do with us. Don't blame us for what they're doing. That's totally legitimate. But to say that but with that being said, if South Korea is being attacked by the North Koreans, or Japan is being attacked by the North Koreans, and they're defending themselves, and the North Koreans are putting children, in the place where they're defending themselves, I'm not going to go and protest and say that I am condemning Japanese brutality or South Korean brutality because North Korea are the aggressors here. That's what's going on here. I can say I don't have anything to do with it. This is not I don't have a horse in this race. I don't have anything to do with this particular conflict. That's a legitimate thing to say. And I think, if the but there's really, how do you do that? That's the question with this issue, meaning we're being attacked as Jews, because of something Israel is doing that we have nothing to do with. And but to go and say, well, we condemn Israeli brutality, there is no Israeli brutality at this point. If there's been Israeli brutality against us, against religious Jews. They've attacked the Yemenite Jews. They've attacked Orthodox Jews in general. There's a long history of Israeli brutality against Orthodox Jews. You put on a yarmulke, you're making yourself, and certainly a black hat and a beard and payas, you're making yourself a target to the Israeli police. They hate us much more than the Arabs hate any Jews. The Israelis hate the religious Jews, and even the religious Zionist Jews, they hate. It's not a difference between the anti-Zionists, the non-Zionists, and the religious Zionists. They hate all of us. And the truth is, they really don't persecute the Palestinians. They give them everything for free. But there's a lot of issues here. In general, a lot of these nationalist movements have been bolstered up by the communists. There's a long history to that, and that's what's really going on. Whether it be the Israelis or the Palestinians, these are both artificial nationalist movements that have, for in a big way, replaced religion for a lot of these people. Now, Hamas, they claim to be like a more religious type of group, as opposed to Fatah, the PA. But nonetheless, they're not real Muslims. To go and say that children should get killed, because of that. That's not what Islam teaches. That you should put children in the line of fire as a human shield. And the same thing we're seeing, and so it's a communist infiltration. The same thing. There's a so-called Muslim caucus in the Democrat Party where they said the Pledge of Allegiance and they didn't have under God. Now, if you know Muslims, everything is God. Everything is Inshallah, Bismillah, Mashallah. Everything is God willing. Thank God. Everything's God, 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 God. I made it to the gas station, so here I am. And so this is the story. So thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment. So when it comes to the Neturei Karta, you know what? I'll pause it and we'll continue when we're done. Pump stopped or something. That one's also out of order. What's going on here? I gotta get gas. So anyway, we is there gas here? Does this one have gas? Anyway, when it comes to the Neturei Karta, I mean, I've had discussions with these guys. This guy's moving. I'll move up a little bit just to be fair here. Rabbi Beck just passed away. He was the leader of the Neturei Karta in America, and I met him on a number of occasions, and you'd sometimes see him at weddings, and I've spoken to him. And the other guy, Weiss, who's one of his students, who speaks English very well, relatively, although every now and then he has like words that are not really English words. Like I think he tried to say wicked, and he says like